No laptop is perfect, and that includes the new Dell XPS 15 here, the 9560 model with Kaby Lake and a GTX 1050. It's my new main laptop I use every day. I bought it myself. I think it's incredible. But there are a few issues with it, and some of them you only really find out after using it for a few weeks. So I'm here in San Francisco in a hotel room for a completely separate product launch, but I just thought I'd share with you a few thoughts, a few of the issues I've experienced with using the Dell XPS 15 on the road, out of the office, out of the home, in real life. So my first issue is with the response time. Now you can tell because when you scroll up and down in websites or in Office documents, you get this red sort of blur as you scroll up and down. It's very difficult to film, very difficult to show you, but it is an indicator of poor response time. This isn't a big deal necessarily unless you play games. If you play fast-paced first-person shooters, although again the XPS 15 isn't really a proper gaming laptop, but you are going to notice some ghosting, some blurring, some response time issues. So it's a little bit annoying, but it's definitely not a deal breaker. And if you do go for the 4K panel option on the XPS 15, that has much better response times. But then again, the high resolution means it's not as good in games, so you're stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place. My next issue is with this webcam. It's been the same on the XPS line for a couple of years now, but it's on that bottom bezel, which means if you're doing Skype calls, video conferencing, it's looking up your nose. It's really a very poor placement of the webcam. And if you do use the webcam regularly, probably a good enough reason to avoid the XPS 15 entirely. The reason for it is because it's got such a thin, what they call infinity edge bezel. So really it's the only place they can fit it. My third issue with the XPS 15 are the speakers. They're terrible. I mean, really bad. I'm in my hotel room. I was trying to listen to some Spotify as I did some work, and I had to turn it off. So if you like to listen to music or watch videos on this, I highly recommend a pair of headphones. The speakers are tinny, they're weak, they're really bad. Next up, the Fingerprint Reader. Now this isn't actually on the standard model of the XPS 15, you have to add it in as an extra. It's a nice feature to have. It supports Windows Hello, so you can just simply log in with your finger rather than typing in a password, but it doesn't work 100% of the time. Just once too often, it doesn't recognize it, or maybe the screen comes in contact with it and it says you've tried too many times already. That's as soon as you open the lid. So while on the whole I would still recommend getting the XPS 15 with a fingerprint reader, just be aware it's not perfect. My fifth and final issue, which is a bit nitpicky, but it kind of annoys me about the XPS 15, is this. It doesn't quite sit flush on a table, on a surface. Now to be fair, this could be just an issue with my model, but for a £1,600 laptop, it kind of takes away from that premium aesthetic a little bit when the whole thing makes a noise and moves every time you use it. So those are 5 issues I've had with the XPS 15 using it in normal life, like I'm doing here in this hotel room in San Francisco. But don't get me wrong, this is still an incredible laptop. Performance and portability combination with its Kaby Lake processor, GTX 1050, 16 gig of RAM in this one, and also you get that Full HD or 4K touch option. Generally, it's still one of my favorite laptops, and don't let these issues necessarily put you off buying it, because I'm still really pleased I went with it. There's no question in my mind of returning it. But I hope these few issues, highlighting them in a real world test, has helped you make a decision one way or the other about it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time back in the studio, probably right here on the Tech Jam.